Hey everybody, it's Chris Eads, Wootini over at GayGamer.net, here with another weekly video podcast, and yeah, it's going to be all about Animal Crossing again. Not that I didn't play other games. I mean, there was one night when I just felt like doing something relaxing, and I put in Lego City Undercover on the Wii U, and just went around and found some secrets, you know, no pressure, whatever. And I have been playing more Bioshock Infinite, but I find with that game, it's better when you can play it for a long stretch of time and really get into it. Playing it in short bursts isn't really working because I can't get into the story and I can't remember what I'm supposed to be doing, and I'm like losing the story because I'm not playing it at a chunk. So, but, you know, I am playing other things, but I am pretty much playing Animal Crossing all the time because I can carry it with me on the 3DS. And it's just like what happened with Wild World on the DS. The idea of having your Animal Crossing town with you always means that you can, whenever the mood strikes, jump in and play around and do what you want. And it's great. But it also means that even when I'm home and should be playing my consoles, I'm still playing on my 3DS at home. But it's still lots of fun, and I now that the initial joy of having a new Animal Crossing has faded slightly, because, I mean, that first day on the train, I can't even imagine what I must have looked like, turning it on for the first time, you know, on the subway on the way to work, and people must have looked at me, and I'm sitting there with my 3DS as I'm, like, moving into my town and meeting all my neighbors for the first time. I must have been, like a crazy person. So, now that I've calmed down and I've gotten into, like, you know, the routine of, like, okay, let's walk around and water the flowers and dig up the fossils and talk to everybody and do errands and check to see what's on sale at the Home Shop and the Nooklings and the Able Sisters, you know, it's settling into a routine now, so I can be more objective, and it's still awesome. Just, I mean, they've really refined it. I find that with every Animal Crossing, they pretty much improve on the previous game. I mean, occasionally you'll lose a couple of features. The only one I ever minded was the NES games from the original Animal Crossing, which were, you know, taken out, you know, because obviously they don't want to give you free Virtual Console games when they can sell them in the eShop. But so far, it's not, I haven't missed anything from the previous version. All they've done is add a whole ton of stuff, and there's so much more to do. Captain is back to take you to the island, where Tortimer has retired with his turtle family, and they run these tours, which are what you can do. You can play mini games, and there's a wide variety of those. There's a memory one, where you dig up holes in the ground to find an object, and you're like, okay, there's a tea kettle, and you have to find the other tea kettle, and there's like a bunch of holes, and, you know, it's just memory, but it's digging it up, so I'm kind of terrible at it, because I'm sometimes really bad with the aim, and then you dig a hole, and then it's like, oh, do you want to bury it? And I'm like, no, I'm still looking for the other thing, I just missed by one spot. But there's that, there's a flower planting one, there's one where you shoot the slingshots at balloons flying overhead, there's fishing ones, and bug catching ones, and hide-and-seek one. It's like, it's all different kinds of games, and there are different levels of difficulty as well. So there's all of those things to do, which are what you do to get medals, and the more medals you have, the more island merchandise you can buy, because there are certain things that you can only buy on the island. Like, for instance, I finally saw a wetsuit for sale, so I could buy a wetsuit, and I had to play a ton of games to buy that wetsuit, but then it was worth it, because then I could have a wetsuit at home, so I can go scuba diving at my town, instead of just on the island. Also, the Town Works projects are fun, because you can customize your town. So far I've only built the extra bridge that I really needed, and then I built a park bench just because it, you know, wasn't very expensive, and I thought it would be nice to have. But then I built, somebody was like, oh, we need a garbage can. I'm like, yes, we do need a garbage can, because otherwise, when you're fishing up garbage, you can't just give it away or throw it in the recycling bin, because there isn't one. There's retail, which is where you recycle all the stuff you don't want, and they'll buy it off you, except that if it's garbage, you have to pay for them to take it. So that's rude. So the garbage can was super expensive, but it was worth it, because now I don't have to sell my stuff, I can just chuck it in there. And so the thing that's interesting is the Town Works projects are actually kind of pricey. And you do end up spending most of the money, because the townspeople do sort of contribute, but I feel like if you waited for them to actually fund something, and I might do this at some point and just see how long it actually takes, because it'll take like a really long time for them to throw in a couple of bells here and there, because these things are really expensive. And I feel like, you know, the home loans and the Town Works projects are really expensive, you know, to try to prolong the experience, so that it'll take you a while to get everything built. Because, I mean, unless you're cheating, you're not going to be able to get those kind of bells. So, I mean, I understand they're trying to prolong the experience, and that's fine, because, I mean, I'm going to play this for years anyway, so it's always nice to have new stuff that I could build later on. And I'm looking forward to any kind of, like, DLC that Nintendo releases, like furniture sets and whatever, because that's going to be fun. I've been buying stuff at the store in the hopes that one of the upgrades will have the Nooklings offering a catalog, because that's what you need to do. You need to have a catalog so that you can buy what you... Like, you buy everything and it catalogs it, and then later on you can say, okay, I've decided I want to get the ranch furniture set. And then you can go back in and buy all the ranch furniture pieces that you had bought but sold, but then now you decide you want them, so you can just go get them. But there's no catalog yet, which I find weird, and I'm hoping that this upgrade will establish a catalog. But in general, I'm loving it. There's so much to do, and the graphics are just beautiful. Everything is just very tight, and the lighting is gorgeous, and the level of customization. I mean, my house is fabulous. The outside is fabulous, the inside is full of insanity. Because in the beginning, you can't ever, like, get a set of furniture, because, I mean, the store only sells 2 pieces of furniture a day to start with anyway, so you don't really have any matching sets. You just take what you can get and throw it all in your house, and it's a complete mishmash, and it looks insane. But it's still fun. And I realized that, FYI, the fortune cookies that they sell for 2 play coins every day, I kept getting fortunes, and thinking, oh, these aren't the lucky tickets, they're just fortunes. And I kept them because I didn't want to pay to get rid of them, so I was like, I'll just keep them in my house in the dresser until I get the garbage can, and then I'll just throw them all out. So glad it took so long to get the garbage can, because it turns out those fortunes are the lucky tickets. Some of them. Today I got a lucky ticket that was not a winner. But it's funny because they're like, oh, that's not a winner, so here, have a consolation prize of a striped bed. And I'm like, hey, I need a bed in my house. I don't have a bed. And that's a perfectly lovely bed. I will take that. Thank you. Because everything else has been Nintendo stuff. You know, I've gotten like a Mario Kart, I got a balance board, a turtle shell, you know, wallpaper, you know. So my house is very Nintendo looking right now. So those are lucky tickets. They're not just fortunes. I was expecting to get like, hey, I got a lucky ticket, but, you know. And I've had some visitors. There's still no KK Slider yet, which is annoying me. I don't know what I have to do to get him to open up his club in the town, but I need music in my house. So hopefully that will come soon. But again, that's half the fun of Animal Crossing, is the way it evolves as time passes. The only thing is that being part of this special Mayor's program and getting the game a month early, none of my friends have the game yet. And so I have to wait until next month for them to get this game so that we can all play together and trade and do stuff. On the plus side, my town will be totally awesome, so I can have lots of stuff to share with them. But on the other hand, I have no one to play with yet. So that is sad. So I promise I'll play something else so that next week's podcast will not also be all about Animal Crossing, and I will have something else to say. So come back next week and see if that's true or not. Bye!